Howdy. So recently I got the Microsoft Surface Adaptive Kit, which is essentially a set of tactile tools that you can use to identify objects around your house. Let's explore these together and let's see how we can get creative with these. Because it's called Microsoft Surface Adaptive Kit, the guidance from Microsoft is, of course, to use it with the Microsoft Surface tablet and keyboard. But then they also encourage you to explore other ways that you can use this. And that's exactly what I want to do today. So on the back, it says, contains labels for use with select Surface keyboards. Scan to explore different ways the Surface Adaptive Kit can be used. And then there's a barcode, a QR code, sorry. Okay, all right. So here we go. So we unpack this right from here and undo this whole thing. There's some choking instructions and whatnot. And then here's the little box. So within this box, you get this kit and it says, again, the QR code, scan to explore. We open this lid and here we are with all the tools and the stickers. So here are, the description of each of these. And let's look at these stickers right here. So here we have colored, different sized and different shaped stickers that you can use on objects, and of course different colors, so anyone with low vision can look at the colors and see what they're accessing. Now these are for ports on the computer and the cables that go in them. We'll see if we can use these for other purposes. Next you have these Keycap Identifiers. So this is something you can use on keyboards. You probably cannot see them really well, but here's what they look like, meant for the keys on a keyboard. And then finally, you have these tools. So one is for lifting like the lid of your laptop. And this one is more specific. This is meant for the back stand of the Surface laptop. We'll see if we can use it for other things as well. So the first item that I want to use the bump labels on is this USB hub that I have that I use with my computer. And obviously it has a bunch of ports. And for the most part, as I move my hands or my fingers on or around this thing, I can just feel where the ports are. But then there's this one little thing that is very easy to miss. And it's this little micro SD card slot that it has. Now, this is so thin and so narrow. It's this tiny little sliver, as you can see. And as I move my hands around this or my finger, I cannot even feel it. So guess what I'm going to do? I went ahead and used one of the bump labels on top of where the slot is. So as I'm moving my fingers, I just know that the micro SD card slot is right here. And this is where I can insert my micro SD slot. I think that's a pretty cool use of these bump labels. Now, let's look at how we can use these bump labels with another device in our favorite part of the house, the kitchen. What you're looking at here is an old school microwave that has a dial of all the things to set the timer. Now, the numbers are on the dial. They're kind of small. They all look the same. And especially for a person with low vision, it may not be easy to distinguish between those numbers. And of course, if the person is blind, how do you even know where to set the dial to get to the right time? Now, this is where you can make use of the bump labels. Put them on the numbers to make them tactile so that if a blind person is using the microwave, they can just feel the numbers and set the dial accordingly to get to the right timer. You can use the ones with the different colors so that if a person with low vision is using the microwave, they can just look at the different colors and figure out which color is what number. All right, how about that microwave, huh? Since we are in the kitchen, let's look at another equipment, something that's very near and dear to your heart, to my heart, the greatest thing to have happened to humankind since the band REM. The air fryer. Allow me to present Exhibit A, the modern day air fryer. The smudge marks on this thing will reveal that it is a very frequently used air fryer. But guess what? You have to be fully sighted to be able to use it because all the buttons on it are like touch enabled. There's nothing on it that'll tell you what button does what. You literally have to be able to see each button's function. So this is where our friends, the bump labels, will come in handy yet again. You can easily put those bump labels where those touch buttons are. So anyone who needs to perform specific functions, they know exactly where those buttons are. So you just feel them, press them, and get your stuff made. Let's do one more. This time, we will step out of the kitchen and get into our, I don't know, music studio, our desk. Allow me to show you a MIDI controller. Okay, so this, what looks like a regular piano, it's called a MIDI controller. It connects to a computer and you use it to make music. Now, this is a very exciting piece of equipment. It's very, very fun, but notice how some of these buttons, look at these black buttons right here, these that are lined up. They all look the same and there's something written underneath and above them, and it's just so hard to read them. Now, I'm a fully sighted guy and even I have trouble identifying which button is what. To make them more accessible and to make them more like approachable, if I may, what I'll do is I will use these bump labels on some of these buttons. Why these? Because these ones have not only are they different colors, but they're also different texture as well. So as I'm navigating through these buttons, I know which one's what. Let's see how this is going to work. So what we have here is 3 buttons that have been labeled with different colors, different textures, and each button has its own function. So, this one right here is for playing chords. What that means is that typically you would have to have like the proper formation for each chord, right? So C, D minor, etc. You have to play multiple keys. If I press this button, it'll only play, it'll play a chord with the press of just one key, which is actually an amazing accessibility feature in its own. But I digress. Anyway, so there's that. And then here's the button that plays like 16th notes. So for this to work, I need to press this arpeggiator button. And once I have that, I can have the 16th notes play. So anyway, so if I want to navigate these buttons, I can just feel them. I can see where they are. I can feel which key is what, press the button, do my thing, and easily make music. So, thanks to the Microsoft Surface Adaptive Kit, even like really amazing yet badly designed products can be made fun and more accessible. So, there you have it. We didn't look at everything in the Surface Adaptive Kit, but hopefully you got an idea of how you can use it around the house, in your office, wherever you may be, not necessarily just on your computer, but things that you use on a daily basis. Another thing I'd like to add is that these bump labels are aesthetically, they're very pleasing, they're visually appealing, and they don't take away from the looks of the equipment or device that you're already using. And I feel like that's very important. If you get your hands on one of these adaptive kits, let us know how it works out for you and let us know what you use it for. Hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.